Welcome. You are about to take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition show. For the next hour, allow her to prepare you in becoming a magnet for a profound love-infused relationship by identifying and focusing on solutions through love. Awaken the light within and let your essence shine. And now, here's Deborah Beauvais on Love by Intuition, all part of the Dream Vision 7 radio network.
Welcome, everyone. Bonjour, mes amis. And yes, here I am, Deborah Beauvais. And as I always say, I'm founder and owner of the syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network and the Kids for Love radio show and the Love by Intuition show as well. And if you're tuning in for the first time, we are a Boston-based internet radio station, all holistic. We're 18 years old this year, soon to be 19. It's amazing when I think back how it all started. And we have the most amazing hosts of podcasts and live radio shows with the intent of really making a difference in people's lives as they learn about themselves. And if you want to check it out, go to Dream Visions, all one word with an S on the end, the number 7radio.com. And this is a live show, and the number to call in, Bob is in the house, and you can just call in and he'll put you through, is 833-220-1200. Well, I am honored. I have the honor to have two amazing guests. They both have actually had them on the show years back. I have the honor to be with Sister Dr. Jenna. Many of you may be familiar with her. She is a spiritual leader, author, and speaker whose life's work has been dedicated to elevating human consciousness and fostering peace worldwide. She is the director of the Meditation Museum in Washington, D.C., and host of the popular America Meditating radio show for nearly 12 years, hosting more than 1,700 shows and engaging in a wide audience in discussions on mindfulness, peace, and personal growth. She currently hosts the Next Normal TV show on YouTube, and we're going to be talking also with Gina, Mazza, who's living her passion as a word provocateur, and she is the author of 4 books, and one of them, Everything Matters, Nothing Matters, has been praised by Publishers Weekly. She's an indie journalist, as she says. Her core work is writing as a writing coach, a creative muse, book editor, communications pro, and publishing consultant. And we are going to be talking about the Sister Gita effect, living in love with the divine. The authors are Sister Dr. Jenna with Gina Mazza. So without further ado, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Deborah. Yay, I'm so excited.
Yes, thank you, Deborah. You're the best.
You're welcome. Truly, it's an honor, and I'm thrilled just to have your energy. It is so special. Okay, so first of all, the question that came up in my mind was, Dr. Jenna, did you know you were going to write this book about your mom long before it was written?
Of course not, and that's all because of Gina. I mean, my scheduling and my life was such, but after a conversation with Gina, it was just a feeling that this is to honor my mom and to have her legacy be an immortal one, that her life mattered, that Sister Gita, who walked on this earth and gave so much love and who emerged from ashes and tragedy became a server for the divine. And it was Gina's intention, dedication, and availability that brought this book to life.
Mm. And Gina, what were you feeling that you felt compelled that this book should be a live book, people to read?
Well, I think that books have a way of finding their way into the world at the perfect time. And it was a discussion that Sister Jenna and I had earlier on about honoring Sister Gita. And that was when Sister Gita was still here with us in the body. And life happened for, I don't know, probably a year or so. And we reconnected. And by that time, I feel like Sister Gita's story was complete in the sense that she has since gone on to her next beautiful assignment. And we were able to fully honor her legacy and her life. And I feel like it was published at the exact right time.
And I have to tell you, if Gina remembers, Deborah, Gina and I started talking, and I was amazed at, after my mom passed, which was on May 4th, 2024, how many people started to have sightings of her.
Oh.
Like even strangers who had never met my mom, later either they were watching my Next Normal TV show that I did every morning at 8 to 8:30, and they would say, "Oh, your mom, Sister Gita, came in a vision." Or somebody says, "Oh, her face showed up and she showed us to God's light." Or they would just share these things, and I would tell Gina about it. And I think Gina, if I'm not wrong, Gina, you were saying, yeah, I feel something about Sister Gita. Even though I've never met her, I can feel her presence. Am I right?
Yes, well, this project for me was a dream project for two reasons. One, working with Sister Jenna, who is the embodiment of someone who walks their talk, for sure. So just being in conversation with her is always a pleasure. And then on top of that, I felt, just as you said, Sister Jenna, that I was able to connect in with the essence of Sister Gita in spirit, even though I had never met her in person. That really drove the process a lot, because I feel almost, I could say that Sister Gita helped direct us in the writing of the book. That's how palpable her energy was during the process.
I believe that. And so you were really the vessel to make this all happen. But it was her energy that bubbled up to direct you, that's for sure. Yeah.
You know, it's so interesting because a lot of us tend to intuitively feel there is something powerful about a transition to life. And even though when somebody passes or dies, there's a sense of, I wouldn't say loss, but that something has changed significantly in our lives, that I think many of us are not aware that even after a soul passes, there is a kind of life that enters us that we didn't have when they were around. I don't know if anyone listening to the show has ever felt that when somebody passed, that they felt them more alive than when they were even with them.
I believe so, that many people have experienced that. They may not share it openly, but I do believe that. So, Sister Jenna, if you may tell for the listeners that may not know about your mom, her tumultuous, tragic beginning at such a young age of 9, and that she carried that, as many of us who have had tragedy and tumultuous childhoods, it seems to be we chose that in a sense, so our journey here on earth is to work through that and come to peace with it all and see it as, I know from my own experience, I see as ugly as one can experience. It's a gift as we go along. It's a gift of what we can feel on earth, because I don't feel as though we can feel, the heavier things when we're in the light.
Great. I love that. Wow, what a soul she was. I can only speak in the context of, I can't even imagine what it was like being inside of herself.
Mm-hmm.
But from my view, it was a woman who was lost, became found when she had her child. I think she felt there was something called love. And even though she didn't have me when I was a child, I was with my father, she carried the love for me even though we weren't together. And how I knew that were the few occasions that I stayed with her. I remembered the way she treated me, as if she was trying to make up for lost time. And it wasn't an economical treating. It was a presence of her time.
Mm-hmm.
It was something about her presence that kind of reeked, I hope you'll forgive me, but I love you so much. I can't find the right words, but I can only tell anyone listening, you will never go through something you can't manage. You will always be able to overcome whatever challenges life throws at you. And that's what I learned from my mom.
Mm-hmm.
Gina, what did you learn going through the book with me and listening to these stories and people?
Oh my goodness, so many things. I think more than anything, we all have some version of trauma that we experience in life, and life happens to all of us. I mean, we're here to have that human experience, and it's not always peaceful and happy. I think what I learned more than anything through Sister Gita's story and also Sister Jenna's portion of the story, that it's really not so much about what happens to us, it's how we utilize that, how we are able to transform it and do something with it for ourselves. And if we can do it for ourselves, then we can ultimately be of service to others. And it does start with our own internal introspection about why we're doing the things we're doing, why we are maybe acting out in the ways that we're acting out, or feeling the feelings that we have, and really getting clear on that. And it's at that point that we're able to transfer that onto others in a sense that helps them do the same. And it feels, it's just such a powerful way to use your life. I mean, she went from really having nothing to giving everything that she had in service to God and in service to others. And in doing that, people's lives for the better. I mean, what better legacy can you have than to say, I was able to help others come to God as well, and to live in a way that was, more pure and more joyful. for sure. She seems also like a very, in spite of her tragedies, a very, very joyful person, seeing the beauty in things and seeing the beauty in others. And that joy was contagious when she was around, when people were in her presence.
Mm-hmm. Sister Jenna, you even talk in the book about feeling your mom's energy, that it was something that was hard to describe. That's how powerful it was. Can you speak to that a little bit?
It was sublime. I don't know if you've ever been pinched. You might say, ouch, but you really can't explain what it feels like. You might just say, oh, that hurts. But to share in detail the intensity of that vibe, you cannot. So on an opposite level, her love, presence, purity, her traumas, her courage, her dedication to God, the source, all wrapped up in one single little soul, gave me the essence of, I will always be protected by this soul. Because of the strength the soul carried in her spirit. And that even though we weren't mushy or affectionate, you felt that you were loved as you were. And that was divine. And that's what I used to feel from her presence. It was sublime, Deborah. It was subtle. It's like a gentle wind blowing through you, at your face, and you really just enjoy it because it's gentle and it's subtle, but you know how much it's pleasing you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was how
Beautiful.
Her presence felt. Yeah.
Mm. Wow, it's reading about all that she did. I mean, she was always there. If someone had questions, she actually made food, and all these things that how she gave to others was through even cooking meals. So that, I mean, when you think about that, it's so simple but profound when you bring people together through a meal.
One time we went to Mississippi. Clark Peters, which is a Grammy, I think not a Grammy, we call it Academy Award winner or something, or nominated. He was in this movie, this TV series called The Wire. And we went to see him. We were good friends. And Clark wanted to cook for us. And Sister Gita says, no, I'll cook. The next moment, Clark and Sister Gita are dancing in the kitchen, cooking food for Baba, which we call God. And I'm just sitting watching a major Hollywood actor and my mom sitting dancing in the kitchen, cooking and singing Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson. And that was my mom,
Yes.
This is wonderful.
Yes. Wow. And that, I mean, that's, when you think about it, she was living real life, being her authentic self, dancing. And, I mean, dancing is part of the freedom we all feel. And it has its own sacred purpose as well. Did you get this? I'm sorry.
I suspect when she turned on that dance moment, this is me now, I'm suspecting that at that moment, the memory of her traumas were emerging. Okay. And one of the ways that she pacified it to remove it from her consciousness was to dance at that moment. So one time I did a lecture in Tennessee at Unity Church, and I thought my lecture was amazing. So, of course, the audience is down. Hundreds of people are in the church. I got off the stage. I'm meeting with people. All of a sudden, I heard on the microphone my mother, Sister Gita, singing Drake. You don't call me on the cell phone when you're late night. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I told my brother, go get her off the stage. Go get her. And the senior pastor and the congregation, when I turned, they were with my mom dancing and singing Drake in church. That's the Sister Gita effect Gina and I wanted everybody to know exists.
Yes. And that is key to all of us, to just, including myself, is to just be free to dance, be free to just let the true self come out. Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, we're coming up on a break, and everyone, I want you to know how to get in touch with both Sister Dr. Jenna. You can go on her site. It's AmericaMeditating.org, just as it sounds, AmericaMeditating.org, and you can email press@AmericaMeditating.org. And for Gina, you can go on her site. The last name is M as in mother, AZZ.com, GinaMazza.com. Our phone number here, if you want to call in and talk with either Sister Jenna or Gina, please give us a call. Bob will put you right through. It's 833-220-1200, and we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Experience different yet profound healing with Reconnective Healing. Includes yet expands beyond any and all known forms of energy healing. The Reconnective Healing spectrum is comprised of the full healing and evolutionary continuum of energy, light, and information. It allows for healings that are not just physical, not just mental, not just emotional, yet go beyond that to bring healing that includes the evolution of your very being and essence. Deborah Beauvais, trained and certified by world-renowned Dr. Eric Pearl, offers appointment hours at Seekonk Family Chiropractic in Seekonk, Massachusetts. For questions or to set up both distance or local sessions, call Deborah at 508-431-1959. Again, 508-431-1959. Or go to lovebyintuition.com. That's lovebyintuition.com.
Calling all authors. Have you been considering an audiobook? Well, look no further. Come take advantage of Dream Vision 7 Radio Network's unique in-house audiobook production, which includes benefits and bonuses from our radio station. Let our knowledgeable staff guide you to create the audiobook you've always dreamed of without breaking the bank. Check out our full one-stop service from A to Z, including the ACX process. Schedule a free consultation by calling 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or go to DreamVision7Radio.com.
After narrowly surviving the attack on Sandy Hook Elementary, first-grade teacher Caitlin Roy DeBellis was left searching for answers that would never come. Eventually, she chose to focus on questions that could be answered. How do I make sure this tragedy doesn't define us? How do we get our control back? Those two questions led her to found the 501c3 nonprofit organization Classes for Classes. When gifts poured into their classroom, she decided they would help someone else by paying it forward and being kind. This developed into a social network which allows K-8 classrooms to connect so that every student in the United States can learn these crucial lessons. Classes for Classes' mission is to build students' social-emotional intelligence by connecting them to care. All C4C projects are crowd-funded. Any teacher in the U.S. can visit classesforclasses.org. That's classes, the number 4, classes.org. Sign up today.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
And we are back. And I am with Sister Dr. Jenna, as well as Gina Mazza, and we are talking about the book that they have written, all about Dr. Jenna's mom and her wisdom, her profound wisdom, and the Sister Gita effect, living in love with the divine. And I suggest for everyone listening to share it with your family, your friends, get a copy, and I really feel that books and reading expands everyone's world, and you can learn something about yourself, and what's better than sitting there and holding a book, which I love that. So a little bit more about Sister Jenna. She is author of Meditation, Intimate Experiences with the Divine Through Contemplative Practices, and she's a contributor to Mr. President, Interfaith Perspectives on the Historic Presidency of Barack Obama, offering her unique spiritual insights on leadership and unity. And come to segue into, she was recognized and received the President's Lifetime National Community Service Award under President Barack Obama. There's so many levels and stories that weave through your life, Sister Jenna. When I think about reading about your earlier days and opening up a nightclub and being able to manage that as a woman and successfully, and then segueing from there to your awakening journey. And one of the things I'd like to ask is, or not so much ask, but share, because you had the feelings like, well, this is great to be awakened and to have God, which we all have God within us, but to connect with God, but yet but it wasn't for you. And little by little, you started to flower towards that. Are you with us?
I'm still, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So, I'm almost still sort of clubbing, but it's spiritual clubbing. The drinks are mocktails and non-alcoholic. People come to me and they leave intoxicated, but they can drive with this intoxication and they won't get pulled over or get a ticket. I feel like I almost feel like I'm doing the same thing. It's just evolved into another dimension, that's all.
Yes, well said, another dimension, because it is. Yeah.
You know, I have to confess that there were a few of us young teenagers back in the days in Miami, and I think when I had realized my mother had me at 17, it just, I don't know if it numbed me or scared me to dickens, but I knew I did not want to repeat that narrative for myself. And so that carved in me, and I think a lot of children, sometimes they blame, or adults, they blame their parents for the way they turned out. And actually, if you don't follow the mistakes of your parents, you might evolve to be a great person, you know. And for me, I felt I didn't want to be a mother as a teenager. And so in America, you know, that's all too easy to accomplish. And so I was very clear that I needed to make enough money, that I'd be independent, and that when I got married to someone, that I would not stay with him because of finance. I would stay with him because we were a great partnership. And I owe that strength due to the challenges of my mother's life. That for me, I don't still understand how children or adults blame their parents for a lot of things and end up just like them and not realize that they had a choice in deciding how they wanted to navigate their lives. And so I feel like that's important, and I think Gina can also add to that, because I think that's a huge thing. Here I am, a daughter. At some extent, I was abandoned by my mother. I rekindled with her when I was 12 or 13, and I never hated her for that. It's just what that was.
Right, which is unique, Sister Jenna, because you are correct. I think most of us will blame our parents until we walk with God or become awakened to a higher purpose, source, God, all of that. And then we realize that there are choices. I mean, it's a whole journey, as you know. It's so many little things that we learn. Some are profound, some are just little tidbits of information. But when you're awakened, you can pay attention to these messages and also how you feel. And does it feel good? Does it resonate? Is it serving a purpose? So I'm glad that you mentioned that. And Gina, I'd like to hear as well, from your perspective, how you feel about that.
Well, I think our listeners are getting a good sense that this was, just as a baseline, an incredible story. I mean, it's a story that will take readers on a journey from the lows to the highs to the lows to the highs through the lives of these two extraordinary women, and how they did overcome adversity and they did attain a sense of self-responsibility, and ended up connecting as adults. I mean, what was incredible to me, well, first let me back up for a minute and say that when Sister Jenna and I were talking about writing this book, it was definitely about honoring Sister Gita and all that she was and is. But the more I delved into and heard about Sister Jenna's story, I was like, oh, we have to tell this part of it too, because even this part of the story is just so rich and incredible in terms of Sister Jenna's own overcoming of, being born in Jamaica, coming to the U.S. and being raised by her Indian family, father's family, paternal family, and all of the wild and crazy and really cool things that she did at a very young age to make sure that she was going to be, self-responsible and be okay. And what she accomplished was incredible for a young woman who was, living the American dream, so to speak, and not even knowing yet what that was because she was so young. And then the story progresses to the point where Sister Gita and Sister Jenna, as adult women, reconnect through their love of the divine. And again, there's a whole, I don't want to give away the whole story. People can go and read the book and see how the journey unfolded for both of them. But suffice to say that they ended up coming together in this soul mission to serve God. And never once in the recording, the writing, the telling, the conversations that I've had, many conversations that I've had with Sister Jenna, was there ever one word of dishonoring about her mother. It was always very honoring, very loving, and very understanding the role that her mom played in her life. And I think that message of stopping blaming your parents is a really important one. And I don't know why, especially I feel that way in today's world, that's an important message for people to hear, that we take what life gives us and we build on it, and it's up to us. And yes, our parents are in our lives for particular reasons, and at the same time, our lives are our own to live, and it's our choice of what we do with our time here. And so it's important to take the lessons that we learn from our upbringing, but then realize also, we're not our past necessarily. Our story is always evolving every day, and we're writing it ourselves.
Right. And there's that choice where you can make the choice of having a different kind of life than your childhood. And there's so many stories of people, especially women, who have surpassed so much because they truly connected with themselves and the God within. So we actually have a caller from D.C. Caller, come right through and join us. And please tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Rashmi, and I took care of Sister Gita, and she was very loving and caring person. And last year I have seen even she has a dementia, but she was very, very alert, and she has a healing power. She knows everything, even she was in dementia. And a very loving person. Thanks.
Beautiful.
I have to come in here because I have to tell the audience, Rashmi took care of Sister Gita in such a way that it helped me to be at peace. And that is huge, because when you're taking care of another human being, especially an adult, and I'll give you some stories. I think one time we were having a dinner, and the next thing I saw was Sister Gita walking naked to the dinner party. And we just had to grab her and send her back to her room. And then there was another dinner. I was hosting one of the richest families in the world, right? They were the top 20 richest family in the world. And I'll tell you how much my life has been such a paradox. So after hosting this incredible dinner and wonderful people, Rashmi would take care of Sister Gita, and then after my dinner, whatever the night, 9, 10 o'clock, I'd go up and I would check on her, and I would change her diaper, wipe her up. And it's just such an interesting dynamics that here I am, this significant person, so to speak, that the world acknowledges. And after a dinner of serving people with all of my heart and love, I still had enough to go up to her room, change her soiled diaper. Not that Rashmi didn't, but she knew that I would come and check on her and clean her up. Another time, and this is one of the best ones, so many, I would go to India once or twice every year. And so even though she had her dementia, and it became acute, or I don't call dementia, I call it the softening of her brain was happening. Oh. I know, I don't like the word dementia, I just know it's the softening of her brain. Yeah, right. And so we're on a flight heading to, I would go to India once or twice a year, and I would ask her, Sister Gita, do you want to go to India, to Madhavan, which is our headquarters of the Brahma Kumaris? And I didn't care how soft her brain was. She would look at me gently like a pure Cupid. Madhavan, Madhavan, Jen, Madhavan. And that's where we had our first experience with God on the mountaintop. And she would, no matter what she was going through. So here, this last one. I'm flying in first class. And please don't judge me, but I'm flying in first, and the whole crew, like 5, 6 of them with Sister Gita, are in economy. Please don't judge me as I say this, because I'm not feeling weird. But as I'm flying, the sisters would come and bring me food because I don't eat outside food. My body's very sensitive to garlic, onions, and these things. So the stewardesses would know that the sisters were connected to me and that I was connected to them. So they would try to help me going back and forth, only to find out at the end of the flight, we're coming off the plane, and the 3 stewardesses with me in economy and first class came to me and said, I don't know who that lady is, but we meet so many people on our flights, but she's divine. And I just broke in tears because she's been taken care of by all the sisters. I mean, one time she went like poo-poo on the plane, and me and all the sisters had to guard the door, make sure she was clean and clean everything up, you know. And it was like magical. It was with so much love. We never regretted it. But the final story to this, everyone, was how the stewardesses came back and said, I don't know who she is. We meet so many people on our flights, but she's very divine. And she was softening in her brain a lot at that time.
Wow. Wow, that is something.
It is.
I thank you for sharing all that. We need to take our last break, everyone. We'll be back, and when we come back, I'd love to talk with or love to hear of you from your perspective, the Iron Age that we're in and going into the Golden Age, and then also from astrology, it's an Aquarius time when we're going into. But we'll be back, everyone.
Take a journey to a place of the divine love within with Deborah Beauvais on the Love by Intuition Show, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. Eastern. Our message is love in the purest form. The light within us all is a guide to recall our beginning, to learn to love self and humankind, and to feel the higher power of our own divinity. To attract love, one needs to be love. Come join us and step into this glorious vibration called love.
Delight your kids with an enchanting journey by reading the Paper Doll Kids children's book by Deborah Beauvais and Janine Sullivan. There's even a catchy tune, Kids for Love Song, produced by Bob Sherwood and sung by kids just like yours. The story weaves around 7 paper dolls flying around the world doing good deeds as they bring important attention to our endangered animal friends. There's even a magical ring with a universal message. Kids become interested in service projects, action through compassion, and planting seeds that nurture positive change. The Paper Doll Kids and Kids for Love Song are a production of the Kids for Love Project. Get the book now on Amazon Kindle and the song on CD Baby or iTunes.
Are miracles real? Can you move from mayhem to miracles? 30 prominent authors say yes as they share their high fives and down lows of challenges, abuse, addiction, and love. Experience hope, the magic elixir of miracles, through the personal stories of New York Times best-selling authors James Redfield, Dr. Bernie Siegel, Sister Jenna, Reverend Temple Hayes, and many more. If you like bestsellers, chaos to clarity, and crappy to happy, you'll love crying and laughing through Mayhem to Miracles. Sacred stories of transformational hope. Available now on Amazon and in bookstores worldwide.
It's a child's job to play, to learn, and to have fun. It's an adult's job to keep them safe. Did you know that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18? Every day, families enter the Children's Advocacy Center because a child's courage to tell someone what happened to them. Keeping our children safe starts with a conversation. This is Michelle Aranger, Executive Director of the Children's Advocacy Center. Learn more on how to keep your child safe. Visit cacofbc.org. This message made possible by the Fall River Rotary Club.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
A little tidbit of Dr. Jenna as well is that she and her team spearheaded 21 initiatives fostering resilience and values. She can be seen on the Housewives of Atlanta, which I had no idea, offering meditation and spiritual support for the wives. She presented the Illuminating the Light Within fashion show for the Paris 2024 Olympic Gala for the African Olympians. So, I mean, it's endless. And so entertaining when you think of all the things that you have experienced and spearheaded, as we have just read. So talk about, and I'd like to hear from both you, Jenna, Dr. Jenna, as well as Gina, talk about the age we're in, everything that is bubbling up. And as we all know, there's light and dark, and I'm seeing and feeling at times, even though I'm awakened, that some of that dark can bubble up just in awe of what is transpiring. And it's so far from what I believe in with equality and celebrating our differences, and that we're all human beings. So, Dr. Jenna, you go first.
It's a big question.
Yes.
I am answering you from observing the times that we've been in since 9/11 as a country. And I'm also speaking to you from maybe the past 12 years where we went through some significant changes and chaos as well as a country and also as a world. And fast forwarding to this present time, where I am right now internally, and what I tell people is accept what we're going through, number one. Number two, don't be deceived or distracted where it seems like the problem of our world at this time, if you're going to mention politically, is because of one person. Stop that deception. It is not. Number three, what we're witnessing is the final chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the chapter of detachment, chapter 18, that we are being ushered into an era of renouncing our attachments and holding on and experiencing what real, true love is. And when that love within you is at that point where it reaches a sense of unconditionality, then you can say, I have the God within me. And until we get to that level of experiencing unconditional love, which will prove that I have an intimate relationship with God, then we have to do the work. And the times that we're in are intensifying human beings and civilization to step up and reveal the love of God through their own way of living, through their own way of thinking, through their own way of being as people. So I celebrate the age and the era that we're in because it's a sign of the collective globally, not just in the United States of America, but that there are two forces that are in this race. The race of soul-conscious love, which is the spiritual identity of a soul, or the race of body consciousness, which is an absence of God's love. And we're watching both of them moving towards some area in life, whether it is the cycle that they're in, but I do believe the soul-conscious lovers, which are the ones that are connected to the love of God, these souls will prevail. And they are getting stronger and they're getting brighter to the extent that those in a lower energy level at some point will have to wake up. So it is a waking up time is the essence of my answer.
Beautifully shared. Beautiful. I'm just with that energy. Gina?
Yeah. Gina?
Yes. Well, that's a tough act to follow. I can't say it any better, but I will add just for some context that in the last chapter of the book, we do talk about the Golden Age and the Iron Age. And it was fascinating for me when we were writing those chapters to be able to delve into and be steeped in the teachings of the Kali Yoga and the time period that we're in right now. It made it even more fascinating for me to understand that there's many other prophecies around the world and across time that talk about this period of time. And I would echo what Sister Jenna just so beautifully articulated, that it's a time of necessary but really transcendental transformation. You know, it's a necessary deconstruction and reconstruction that is for our own good and our own evolution, and to flow with that and to always, I mean, I guess I could also quote Sister Gita, who would always say, always remember God, always remember God, always. And I think it's important in the sense that we want to keep attuned to that energy, to that light. And this is not what we talk about in the book, but my personal feeling is that we are in a spiritual, if we are in a battle, it's a spiritual battle. It's not against up or down or left or right or anything like that. It's just part of our evolution right now to be in this period of time. And I happen to think that we, those of us who are here for this signed up for it on some level. So,
agreed.
To be in love, to always stay focused on love and to be kind to one another, and we'll get through it. And I think that, what the promise is, the golden age on the other side of it is really wondrous and something truly to look forward to into future generations.
Yes. And I hope, personally, I'm still here to experience that more so than what is happening with so many people that are coming together, that are doing the inner work, that are resonating in love and helping those that may not be resonating. I hope to see, and I think the hope is so key for everyone. There's always hope. Whatever's happening, there's always hope. and trust in the higher, the higher source that,
It's so funny that you're mentioning the virtue of hope. Meditation Magazine is featuring me on their front cover, and the whole issue is about hope. And how important it is to have hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Always.
If you don't mind, Jen, I know we have to close pretty soon, and thank you so much. What a wonderful time we've had together. I really appreciated it.
You're welcome. Thank you. It's been a joy and honor.
Yeah.
And we just have a couple minutes, but please share what you had in mind.
I just want to mention what Gina shared. One of my private struggles is that I just can't understand the evilness that emerges in human beings at times. And I know that it's entropy, and I know it's a lack of God's love in their hearts, and I know that it's predestined, and I know it's their role to play. I get all of that. I still basically keep myself open as to why is it even necessary, and yet here we are able to have a conversation that reveals the best of our humanity. And maybe that is really the script. And we're all just having to accept the journey of it all and just be our best as we can.
Wow. I am, my heart is just open to hearing what you just shared, because at your level, period, because I'm amazed as well, and yet from a higher perspective, you can see why all is happening, but being in the experience, it's hard to fathom that a human being can be so cruel and barbaric and all. I mean, maybe this is another conversation for the three of us to have.
Yeah, because, as you're saying that, and I know we're closing off, when I have lost it, it's like I am a different person. It's like something takes me over, and I lose all sight of the wisdom and the embodiment of truth that I know to be true. And when that tsunami passes through me, I find myself wondering, why in the world did I go there? And I wonder that there are so many people who seem to have a consistent tsunami and they just don't know how to get out of it. And I'm wondering if shows like yours or books like ours might be the trigger. I don't know, but it's still a conversation. You're right, Deborah, that we could have.
Yes, agreed. Because people can feel what we're saying. People can own what we're saying and see that they're not alone. And with that said, I'm so sorry, but we have to go. We'll have you back, the two of you, and have this conversation, because there's so much to share. Everyone listening, buy the book, The Sister Gita Effect, Living in Love with the Divine, with Sister Jenna and Sister Dr. Jenna and Gina Mazza. Share it with your friends till we come together again through love, in love. Au revoir.
Are you seeking a clearer path to love? Then tune in to the Love by Intuition show next week. All designed to your highest good. To contact Deborah Beauvais, owner of Empowered Connections, call her at 508-226-1723. That's 508-226-1723. Or link on to lovebyintuition.com. Remember, we are all one, and we are all part of the miracle of love.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.